Hey, welcome to another episode of the recap. Well, make sure that everyone hits the thumbs up button on your way in. Would appreciate it. Uh, this has been a week. Of course, I have a lot of things. As always, what can I say? Everything from states opening back up without everybody being tested to your beautiful president and his medical remedies for this COVID-19 and many of other things that we will get into. So let's just get started. First, of course, why not? Hey, what's up, Armand, Jordan? How you doing? And welcome to everybody else in the clouds or just chilling in the balcony here on Cap Hill. Greatly appreciate you stopping by. So anyway, like I was saying, let's get into this first bit of stuff. So 1 second. Hey, what's going on, James? And hey, everybody. Hey. I'm sorry it popped up late, so everybody started coming in all at once. Hey, Miss T Velocity, how are you? I love to see you. Yolanda Montgomery, welcome. All right, Detroit in the house. Sassy and classy, greetings. Good afternoon to you as well, and welcome to the recap. So let's just. Where are you? I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it.
So, supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or
her face is classic.
Some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right. And then I see the disinfectant.
You know, I don't like the word, but if there was ever a moment where in which you heard the N word, like, you know, you hear us say it when it's like, come on, man. Her face says it all. Like, it's all in her face. Are you serious? And I'm going to play it once again so we get the full effect of this whole.
So, supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
It's like,
and I think you said.
And then you're going to say, but it's just like, wigger, really?
I said, supposing you brought the light
wow.
Which you
oh my God.
In some other way.
She's like, I really voted for him. I can't, he's a total idiot. Oh my God. My career is gone. I've worked so hard. I lose everything. Hold it together. Take a breath.
Almost a cleaning, because you see it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number of lungs. So it'd be interesting to check.
All right, but yeah, I just thought that whole bit is hilarious. Her face is priceless. Everything is utterly funny. I will also place this in the chat for anybody who would like to pop on. Always remember to please be respectful to everybody in the group. And welcome to everybody. Hey, Reed, how you doing? Reed, the Heart of Philadelphia. Always great to see you. Brother Nate, always just one and only. Hey, welcome. So yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, and then of course everybody saw the memes of people. This one guy holding a thing of bleach between his butt cheeks. Talking about thank you, President Trump. People putting their disinfectant cleaners, hanging them like IV bags and using their cords to as IV drips. It's just Maryland actually had 100 cases of people using their disinfectant cleaners, I guess, ingesting them, and that they had put out a warning for the state for people to not use cleaner to ingest it anyway. But they've already had 100 cases of that. So as much as we like to think that, people will really look beyond what the president is saying and really go, oh, well, I wouldn't really do that. No, people really follow a lot of times what the president says or the guidelines because they believe in him. Yes, definitely 100 idiots. You ain't never lied about that. But it happened. So unfortunately, we can't ignore that part of it. I do have someone who popped in the StreamYard. So, of course, you know the rules. Be respectful. Don't go too crazy. But I figured you would pop on anyway because you have something to say about this in conjunction.
Yo, what's up? What's going on? Cap, what's happening?
Nothing much, sir. I'm chilling. Mr. Showtime, how are you? What's going on?
I am baffled. So I'm just gonna dive right into this. So I've been kind of distancing myself from the news just because the last couple of weeks have been crazy between Facebook news of deaths, friends, schoolmates,
Right.
old people,
Yeah.
and other people's deaths also. So I've been away, social distancing from the news per se. And then yesterday, I saw that Lysol had put out a statement. Lysol put out a statement
Right.
about not injecting disinfectant. I was like, do not, swallow this. And I'm like, what are they talking about? So I did a little research and I said, did the president of the United States really suggest ingesting disinfectant?
Yeah, that really happened.
I was like, this is not real life. I was like, I almost had to laugh. Like,
oh shoot! Did he? Hold on, really? Did he die? Because they said he was really,
Kim
really
Jong-un
sick.
died.
Wow,
Yes.
That changes the game.
I know. I said, listen, as soon as I'm booking a trip to North Korea. Oh.
Yeah, they made totally. Wow, thank you for that, Miss B. I did not, or maybe I did.
Yeah, it's like just
I had my phone on
I actually had a phone call about that. But this is an interesting time to be alive. What a great time to be alive. You know what I mean? It's an interesting time to be alive. And
yeah,
I believe it's an interesting time. And I think that, us as a people, as a human race, no matter where you're from, I believe that we will survive this. I do, one way or another. So that's,
a lot more of us would have survived had the president actually taken what he was supposed to take and really really combat it. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about who implemented what program as far as what party they were a part of. If it in fact ensures, there must be some feedback or something. Do you have another window or something open? Because I'm hearing some clicking or something. Or maybe just lower maybe your volume might be a bit high, something. I don't know.
Sorry.
No, you fine.
All right. How's that?
I don't know. I don't hear it. Okay. So, it's unfortunate. It doesn't matter who is the president of the particular party. If the program itself is something that benefits the entire nation, especially something as readying as biological warfare is, to not have something in place to combat that, because really that's really part of what this was. It's a weapon, and people are even using it today. So I just think it's a lesson learned. Hopefully those who have voted for this change in the White House and to clean up the swamp start to second guess. I mean, I know the hardcore, I don't know. I mean, I think personally anybody voted for him, you had to have some sort of bigotry or something in you, but that's just my opinion. Because somebody's sitting around calling people, less than, and you vote for them anyway. Like, well, he don't. You believe some of it. You may not believe all of it.
Yeah.
Some of it. Enough to cash your
What they
ballot.
say when they say, Tony, where there's Crafton, where there's fire, there's smoke. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. They do.
So I totally, I totally with that. But I mean, like I said, it's been crazy that you said that a sitting president, and now I know people are trying to spin it around. Well, he didn't tell you to ingest it. I said no, he didn't tell you to ingest it, but he did suggest. And being that he does have a big platform like that.
The evidence is clear when he was talking about the hydrochloroquine.
Yes.
The people that saw the hydrochloroquine phosphate, but because he mentioned hydrochloroquine, they ingested it, and the hydrochloroquine phosphate is actually cleaner for the fish tank, and they ingested it. The husband died, and the wife was in intensive care. I haven't read anything new about her status as of late, but I mean, to act as if people don't do it or it doesn't occur, that's untrue. People do it. We can clown and make fun of the people that follow that.
No, I mean, yeah, but at the point, but the thing about it, yeah, I mean, and because it's so ludicrous that somebody would actually do this, but you know what? When you do have a platform like this, and you are, I mean, he is the platform. He is the president of the United States. Like it or not, he is. Right. He is the platform.
No, he is. You ain't never thought about that.
I just don't like it. It doesn't make no sense for him to go out there and say something like that. I think it's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. Like, there has come a point where his people, hopefully, that they would say, you know what? Yes, I agree with him on that or certain issues or whatever situation is, however they believe it. But on this, he was wrong. And I think there needs to become a strong sense. You know what? This is wrong. This is not right. This is not what you should have suggested. This is not cool.
Yeah, but there have been plenty of moments where that has happened and no one has stepped up and said, hold up, hold the brakes. What are we talking about? I mean, even in that whole thing, he went back and forth with the with one of the pressers and talked about that he had a smart brain. And pointed to his head. Like, I mean,
I think that's mental condition. I think that's like narcissism.
I mean, again, the fact that nobody is willing to party-wise step up and say, okay, listen, the shits and giggles is over.
Yes.
This is going crazy. And always
in that moment that you showed, that clip, I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and they were saying, like, at that time, in that moment, whether you were a supporter or not, I would have loved to. I would think it would have been a nice moment for them to stand up and say, "All right, enough with the BS." All right, this is not funny. We do not suggest that. This is not a joke. We're not doing that. For somebody to take that stand against that, at that moment, it would have been like, nah, I'm good.
Not the lemon scent though. Yes.
The lavender. Yes, lavender fresh shit. Come on now. Ain't that great? But we're gonna do better. Listen, you know who's on that stuff? And I don't know if you're gonna talk about it. I wanna, the mayor of Vegas. Like, let's give her a round of applause, man. Woo!
Not even the mayor of Vegas. You got the governor of Georgia. That was going to be my next people. I mean, I really don't know the thought process behind these people. I've said it before, and I'll say it tons of times. I think for some of them, when they realized who it would affect more, it was like, go ahead, let it happen. They don't vote for me anyway. Kind of. And yes. I can get some pushback on that, and I'm open to anybody else's thoughts. But I just feel like if you really knew it affects your people the same way that police officers of the same caliber sometimes are differently treating towards their own compared to how they do people of color or people indifferent to them, is the same mindset that you have when something like this. It's like, well, who is affected more? Okay, we get affected, but we can sacrifice some for a greater cause that they think all of this is, of course, what they think. And it's just my thoughts that you would just let this spread and hit everybody and just, whoever it takes out, it takes out. But hopefully, my hope is, because I just can't see the process in this. There's no way you open up a state, everybody has not been tested.
Yes.
Kentucky has had a rally talking about, against the government. First of all, is the government you voted in. Now, the government that you voted in says you have to stay inside. Now, all of a sudden you want to vote against or stand up.
Well, no, they
against the
said,
government that you-
I saw a meme. I saw a meme right quick, and they said all of a sudden, just like that, Republicans became pro-choice that quickly.
but it's a different choice. It's a different choice.
Yeah,
I mean,
but but just going along with you saying, what I've been trying to process is I don't think that this has hit, the coronavirus has hit a certain group of people differently. And what I mean by that is that they have not lost a loved one to it. This is my own personal thing. I don't think that it hit them perfect. I don't think it hit them personally. So that's why they're like, oh, reopen it. And then also on the other hand, it's hitting them financially. It's hitting them in the pockets. It's hitting them in the stock market. So this is why they're like, oh, we want the businesses to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's mainly the thing. That's mainly the problem. It is hitting their pockets. It's hitting political perspective. So therefore, it's the longer this goes on, the more people die, the more people lose their jobs, the worse the government looks, the worse the president looks. All this is all about optics. All right,
Tony, I'm going to peace out, but I hear a lot of static also.
We're just going to roll. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Appreciate you. You can drop down in the chat. So if people want to hit you up and check you out, you do movie reviews. He does movie reviews with another fellow partner of his. I forgot his name, but Cinema Boys is actually what it's called, where they actually review movies and stuff. So definitely check them out. Was doing that, but at any rate, I just think this whole thing is totally crazy. So and along with the mayor of Las Vegas, who basically Las Vegas strives off of people gambling. So if people can't gamble, that creates a problem for the whole state. So of course, she would want it open, but you endanger far more people when you do things like this. So at some point, maybe somebody will get it together and really have some sense, but I don't know. Every day it just makes you wonder. Oh, Louisiana too. It's just really crazy, and people are getting sick, and then you have these same people going from these rallies and different places of business and wind up actually getting other people sick. I think it's really, really crazy. So on the verge of this, I did get a story that how the president, of course, is touting that if he does lose the election, China will own the United States if Biden is elected president. Again, using prejudices and prejudiceness and bigotry and all kinds of stuff, I guess, throwing whatever will stick to make people think such a thing. However, in reality, Trump himself has a debt to China. Back in 2012, his real estate partner refinanced one of Trump's most prized New York buildings for almost $1 billion. The debt included a $211 million from the state-owned Bank of China, the first loan of its kind in the U.S. This is the building was actually for Trump Towers in Manhattan, the 34-story 1290 Avenue skyscraper. Yeah, so he, of course, as always, has debt problems of his own, and he always likes to tout about uh, the United States itself actually being, I guess, placed in some debt if, in fact, he's no longer at the helm. Um, and he has tons of debt. And that's why it's, of course, important to see those tax returns, but we won't see him in this term. So you might as well get yourself prepared to vote. And then once you vote and, you know, somebody else gets in the White House, you may see those tax returns and go, I knew he was a crook and all that. But right now, as long as they are able to, you know, hide his secrets, they will hide it. Now, my question is, does anybody think that coming down the line, if they know he's not going to win, do you think that they will sabotage the government? That's my question. Do you think the Republicans will sabotage the government if the Donald Trump does not win, or if they see it that he may not win? So that's one in the chat if you think the Republicans may sabotage the government. Two, if you don't. Let's see what you guys have to say. Okay. A lot of ones in the chat. Okay. So everybody's a kind of consensus that think the Republicans will sabotage the government. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way. Yeah, it's all about the power, and it's serious for power. So, hey, how you doing, Shay? Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, I think they've already started too, Brother Nate. Good point. Yeah, I personally think they've already started. They've been on this campaign, and the more he says stuff like what he just said at his last press briefing, talking about ingesting fluids, it definitely would be this way. All right, I have another guest about to pop on, and welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's
How
going
you
on?
doing? Hey, nothing much, Jay Dunn. How are you?
Doing all right. And you already read Brother Nate. He put the comment before I could get on here to say that. I think they are already sabotaging. Even the fact, and even the fact with them opening up the state of Georgia yesterday, that was the first day where our state was fully open, even though we still have this pandemic going on. And Cap, what floored me, and I thought about talking about this on my channel, but I mean, I try to support your channel and give input when I can. And so I'm happy that I'm able to come on here. Yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to come on here and share this with you. The thing that bothered me, that makes me feel like Republicans are trying to sabotage so much, is like we've opened prematurely. We already know that. I did my research and I saw that the state of Georgia wasn't technically supposed to open until June 22nd, not April 24th.
Right.
So we have opened up 2 months in advance. But what killed me yesterday was because I'm working from home, just like many of us are. And I'm working from home and I hear the ice cream truck at 4:30 p.m.
Wow.
The ice cream truck was coming through my complex, my area, and I couldn't believe when I heard the music. And so I looked out the window and it was legit the ice cream truck. And you got these kids running behind it, not practicing social distancing,
right?
Running behind it to get ice cream because they have opened up the government prematurely.
Right.
I feel like they are setting us up for a downfall.
Yeah. You think? If you're sick, you can't vote. Who you voting?
Right. And I mean, of course, the kids can't vote, but if the kids get sick, then they're gonna bring it into the household, to the family.
That's the whole, for me, that's at this point, that's what it was. When they realized they dropped the ball on it, it's like, okay, well, how can we work this to work in our favor?
It's like I'm really at a loss for words with it, because I'm just thinking about the lives that can be lost with this.
Yeah.
And even right now, there are a lot of Black businesses who are boycotting because they have opened up many Black businesses, opened up churches, different things like that.
Right.
And I do feel like it's a way to hinder our vote. But I don't understand why the state of Georgia would do that anyway when the state is red already. Like, you have to kill off Black people by doing this foolish stuff.
Yeah,
When
I mean,
you already have.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, you have to kill off Black people by doing this when you already have the majority vote anyway.
Yeah, but remember when he ran against Stacey Abrams, and as the and this is why I'm not surprised by this man. He was the Secretary of State in Georgia, and he was supposed to step down because the Secretary of the State is in charge of the election and in charge of the vote. And he still was the secretary as he was running, so much so that he purged, 500,000 voters from the rolls. So, and those half a million votes could have been the deciding votes on actually who would have actually been governor. And it looks like Stacey Abrams would have won had he not done so. So at this point, it's whatever he can do to maintain power in his state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he thinks, when you don't really know people and you know what you know due to your prejudices, you think, okay, if I open it up, they're going to not pay attention. They're going to do this and get sick. And a lot of times, as we see, they're getting sick. They're getting sick as well. But, I don't know. I just think this nation is spinning.
Well, one other point that I want to bring here too, and now because I won't take too much time up here, but one other point that I want to bring is that, have you not noticed that this all has happened with Georgia finally opening up the week after Black people received the stimulus check?
Right. It's a double win-win in the sense, because you're going by what the purchase power that African Americans have and the boost that would bring to the economy. So it's all, and then if you happen to get sick from it, you wasn't practicing social distancing. You didn't wear your mask. It's like, we don't even know if those things are 100% safeguarding against the disease. It's just something that, hey, this is something you can use to protect yourself, but we don't even know if it's 100% at this point. So to reopen it and have people commingling and doing all this kind of stuff is really ridiculous. And it shows just the lack of respect for your people that you govern in your state.
Right. And my thing is, a person in a state should not have more. They should not be more beneficial than the next person.
Right. Everybody should be equal. Right. Yeah.
But if I can share a stat with you, and then I will let you go. And I follow a site that tracks this as far as state by state.
Mm-hmm.
And would you believe we reopened yesterday? And overnight, there have been 204 confirmed new cases.
I'm not surprised.
With 5 deaths. 5 deaths overnight. And it was because the Republican, Kemp decided to reopen it.
Right.
I'd be interested in knowing the nationality or the ethnicity of these people who died overnight, but then also all of these people who have contracted it over the course of, going outside and being out socially with people. So I think it's just a downward spiral, to be honest. I'm happy to see that Trump is trying to fight with Kemp, but I know it's all for show.
It is, because Trump was the first one saying that they should reopen. Just a week ago, he said, they should reopen. I understand the governors, they should reopen, and we should get back to, because, America wants to get back to what we're doing. You want to get, he said that a week ago. Then all of a sudden, Kemp, of course, as a lackey for him, even DeSantis with opening the beaches after it's been proven that those people that went down to Miami for spring break and all that, when they went home, they brought it with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just like, yo, you kidding me? And then of course he always does it. He'll say something, then he'll flip and say, oh no, I don't think it's too early. We should just wait. No, but just a week ago you said open. So of course your Flacky went with you and decided to open.
And like, people have been talking about the Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottom, because we already know that she ain't going. She told everybody to stay inside. But then also, that Reverend Jamal Bryant is out here as well, even to the point to where he has refused to open up his church again. And he has one of the biggest churches out here. Right. And he refused to open it back up because he sees what they are trying to do with this. He actually has a Facebook Live that went viral. And from yesterday, it had over 1 million views. Okay. So if you've not seen that one, you should, because he brought up some valid talking points about the Black community and how the Republicans are really trying to annihilate us as far as them trying to open this up. Because ultimately, a lot of the people are getting cabin fever. So they want to get out there, they want to shop, and now they have the stimulus money that should be going on the essentials, because we don't know how long this is going to last.
You don't. And two, I mean, I like Jamal Bryant, but a little side eye.
Okay. I think he brought some good points.
No, I mean, I haven't seen it. So I will watch it and totally leave that part of my side eye to when I watch that. But prior to, I guess, him having a come to Jesus moment, he was trying to have the people come out to get tested for the COVID-19 and charging folks when he got the test himself for free.
Oh, I didn't know that he was trying to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. So, yeah, he had this whole, he had this whole drive to where in which he was going to have people come out and get tested, $25 to, I guess, get a run up to kind of see if you're ill or whatever. And they go through your thing and they actually get the test. It was $150. Yeah. And then when he got so much heat from the people saying like, what the hell? Like, I guess they were on him like, what the hell are you doing? People are going to come out. First of all, your parishioners are going to come out. Secondly, people who are scared and elderly are going to come out. They're going to pay this money, even though they don't have it, because they're scared. He recanted it and canceled and talked about he's going to adhere to the governor's stay at home order. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. So then that makes me think, because even now that the stay at home order has been lifted, he has come out and said that he is not going to have any services. So I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about money. And that even just brings me to the next part I'm talking about with these pastors wanting to reopen churches in the midst of this, as almost one way to say, oh, you showing a sign of faith by coming out and trusting God. But at the same time, your real motive is to get the money from these parishioners. And it's just like, but when these same people are traveling to the church via bus, whether it's a church provided bus or whatever, and they don't have transportation of their own, that's the huge problem. When majority of these huge mega churches, the people don't live like the people who sit on the pulpit. Right. They don't. And these churches get tons of free government money for the programs that they run. So it's like, where is this money going? For you to have a jet? Because you don't want to sit in first class, no less, around the other people because of their spirits. That's what your job is, isn't it? But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just one person. I'm just saying, to me, this just brings the whole attention to the scam or the business of church. And I think it's just gotten too big. And, this whole situation is very sad. It's unforeseen and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, hey, God opens our eyes in many ways. And this could be one where you start to see exactly the churches, like exactly Pastor Tony Spell, who keeps refusing to shut down the church. He then got arrested twice and bailed himself out. But the bail has only been like $150, something small or whatever, because there's no set price for disobeying government rule, at least not for them. But I'm sure if it was one of us, they'll find an amount large enough that, would cause a problem.
But I have to play devil's advocate with you with this.
Yeah, sure. I'm all for it.
Okay, because now, as most people know, I'm not born and raised here in Atlanta. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm from South Mississippi, and my hometown has been hit like none other by this. And I will say that I don't even know how to call it, because I don't want to call it karma, because I don't think it's karma at all. Right. But I've watched the church be open. I don't know if it was a tactic of greed or what it was, but that pastor passed away 2 weeks ago from the COVID.
Right.
And now a lot of the parishioners are scrambling because his last time being in the church, I think it was like April 4th or April 5th or something like that. It was whatever Sunday it was, the first week of April. Right. And he ended up contracting. He preached his last sermon to where I can log into my Facebook and I can watch his last sermon. And and this isn't like a mega church at all. It's a small city, or a small town rather. But either way, he passed away, and now people are spazzing out about it, which I understand why. I understand the concern. But it's like, okay, well, shut the mess down. Because at this point, nobody knows if he contracted it from the church or if he passed it around as he was shaking hands to people there at the service.
Right. But that is my point. It's like, they're professionals. Okay. I'll put it that way. The professionals, the trained professionals, licensed professionals do not exactly know how it is transferred. So again, taking it a step from just taking, I guess, the religion out of it, so to speak, just normally, just being human. The professionals don't really know how it's contracted or whatever. Why not, as a leader, because you're the leader of this flock, why not just say, hey, we're just going to close down church. We can do like they used to do back in the day, prayer hotlines and all that kind of stuff. You can still do stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have this whole thing of, oh no, you got to have your butt in the church in order to receive a blessing. That's not true. Like, you can still do these things and still touch others. Like you could still do curbside prayer Wednesdays or whatever, when the pastor or the assistant pastor or people get in your car and you just go down to parishioners' houses and pray outside.
And I think that a little bit of the catch-22 about it, because I cannot speak for him and say he denounced online church as far as streaming sermons. But what I will say is that when the funeral happened, only 10 people were able to be in there, which was his wife and children, and he had to stream the funeral, or they had to stream the funeral. They had to stream the funeral. So if your funeral will have to be streamed because you fall ill and lose your life with this, then why can't you stream your service?
Okay, but I got a whole nother question. What if this becomes the new normal? Then what? Then what? What if what if it became a thing to where in which if they don't get a control of this, because as of right now, we are the hot box for this disease. Forget about China, forget about all them other places. We're on top now and we're flying. The numbers are almost through the roof right now. So it's like, what if this becomes the new normal where they can't get a grips on what's what? So then you would still have to limit the people in your church. So then what are you going to do? Start live streaming or using Facebook or YouTube or whatever else to promote your church. So then why can't you do that? Even in the small church.
Right. Yeah, but from what I've heard, just based on what's been spoken to me, is that a lot of them don't hop on the bandwagon because, weirdly enough, a lot of the parishioners who go to these churches, they are not as open and willing to give online versus in person. Almost.
No, I get that, and a lot of people are older. Like my grandmother, she wouldn't do it. She cash app. What? Like, no, I'll go to the bank, baby, and put it in your checking account. She ain't giving no cash app, and that part I get. But for that, then you do some kind of like tithing where you have, somebody pick you up and they put it in a box, or something. I mean, you find a way to. You find a way to make it work. I mean, let's be very clear. We've had building funds for how long? Some people still got building funds and ain't nothing been built.
I agree.
So, I mean, if we sitting up here worried about where your money going, now at this point, you ain't worried about that building fund yet. When that pastor pull up in that new, whatever he got, oh, look at the glory of God. Yeah, and my money. That's that's what happened. But and again, not all pastors are bad and not all pastors are greedy, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is those that have the ability to be able to live a certain type of life due to what they do as pastors, hey, you got to step back and realize that a lot of your parishioners don't have it like you have it.
Right.
They don't. They're struggling check to check or whatever. So it's like, be mindful of that. And protect your people, because at the end of the day, you have to protect them. That's on you. That's on you. When you go, that is your, that's what the main thing that you have to answer for is, did you protect my flock? And right. as a leader, if you didn't do that because you was thinking about, oh, well, we got all these bills. Honey, first of all, if your church is big enough, or even if it is small enough, you should still have some kind of emergency funds aside to pay for your light and your this and your that, if in fact there became a moment in which the church, was not able to function due to whatever reason, God forbid. I mean, that should just be.
That makes sense as well. Sorry, captivating, but yeah, I just wanted to come on and give my 2 cents about the Republicans, because I think that's a very small part of stuff that people don't realize. Like what type of essential is an ice cream truck? If you drive an ice cream truck and you own one, how much money are you making in a day to where you need to go back to work all of a sudden to have children following you?
Right. And let's not even talk about how we don't even know if it affects food to that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it can be cross-contaminated with, if I touch this ice cream cone, or if I'm scooping this ice cream or something, you have no idea. We don't know. We know it sits on surfaces. So if somebody orders an ice cream thing and it's on the plastic that they touch and somebody else opens it, it's so many variables that it's just like, why not just get a hold of it first, or at least some sort of a grip before we start rushing to opening stuff. Although, yeah, I know people's pockets are hurting and people, want to get back to work. They don't like staying in the house and all that kind of stuff. But just really, like, what are we doing?
And what I did hear, though, is that the virus survives in very, very cold climates more than warmer climates. And right. So even with the ice cream truck, okay, if somebody's touched something or whatever and it goes in the freezer, the virus can survive on that. But then now you're passing out the ice cream. But even still, like when I tell you, I saw about 3 or 4 kids just running behind this truck, because this was the first sense of normalcy that they've probably seen in about a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So they are all running for the ice cream truck because they probably think that life is back to normal when it's really not.
Yeah, it's really you done missed the whole school year. Like, are you serious? Like most of the school year you done missed. There's no way life could be back to normal for you.
Right.
You know, and then that's a whole nother thing, that if we rush to do this and you don't set up any kind of preparation for the fall when you do have kids going back to school, that ain't gonna do nothing but be another petri dish of all kinds of diseases. And the people that will get hit will be the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Then the teachers going back, giving it to their families. And it's like nobody wants to endanger their own family. And I stand with a lot of people that feel like, no, I'm not doing that because I'm not endangering my family. Like, yeah, I like to teach the kids, and yeah, I want to, help people and do this and do that, whatever, medical professional they may be. And at the end of the day, but I got to go home to my kids. I got to go home to my own family and subject them to that. I don't really want to do that.
Right.
We need to put a better, we just need to get a better grip on it. I just personally believe. And I don't think drinking Lysol or Fabuloso martini is gonna help. I just I can't believe it. Like, seriously. If there was
I had my cap full of Clorox this morning.
Did you? Okay, well that's good.
And that's a joke, guys. That's a joke. but Captivate. Now I have to say this, and then I'm gonna go because I done said this a couple times.
Okay.
So when I was a teenager, I had a cousin who was a marijuana user.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to go to a job interview, and it was actually a job at Walmart.
Mm.
She was a marijuana user, and she actually did drink a cap full of bleach.
Oh.
My whole family cussed her out about that. But I was a teenager, I was younger than her, so I wasn't allowed to be cursing or nothing. But she did do it, but she didn't die. But I say all that to say people who do marijuana have tried the most, I think, to cleanse themselves in order to get a job.
Yeah, right.
So when I heard Trump say that, it took me right back to whenever I was a teenager and I had my cousin who was like in her 20s or whatever, trying to get that job at Walmart, and she drunk that mess. But even still, I talked about herself for drinking that. And I was like, oh no, you shouldn't have done that. But no, I haven't had a cap full of bleach this morning, but I think it's foolish. But I think that people do all types of stuff to cleanse themselves. I just hope people ain't falling for the okie doke.
Yeah, I would hope not. But all I can do is inform and keep it moving.
All right, Captain. Well, I'm gonna get off here and let somebody.
All right, Jay Dunn. Thank you so much for popping in.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Always support. Bye.
Thank you, Jay Dunn. And the link is there for anybody who wants to pop back on. But yeah, I can't. I really can't. These churches need to get it together. We need to find a new. They need to. I don't know. Go back into the scripture and look at some things, because this whole prosperity, if you give and give and give and give and give, even give your last, God will bless you. God will bless you, because giving is anything and anywhere. You can give and bless anywhere. You can give to someone in need. You can give. I don't know. You could just give. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the church. Because we are the church, so when you give into a person who is in need, you are then still giving and supporting a church, spreading the word. It is not always about giving of your material givings. Sometimes just, spending time and doing that is giving, and you can do it over the phone. It's the same, because if your spirit is right, your spirit will transfer to that person on the other end of the phone. There is no, the phone don't stop the spirit from jumping from one to another. So we could all be gathered on a phone call in the name. So I don't buy that whole we got to be in the house together kind of thing in order for it to work. Right. Very true, Brother Nate. Smart Show. Sorry. I was reading Brother Nate's comment. 2 children. Wow. Didn't hear that. What did you do over there? putting a cap of bleach in their bath water. Yeah, I've heard that years ago. People say put in a cap of bleach in your bath water is supposed to clean you or get you really clean. I don't recall my mother or my grandmother or anybody doing that to me, but who knows? I don't know. Yeah, the virus is unknown, and we should be being very precautious in the things that we do. Hey, Bless, how you doing, Miss Watkins? How are you? Thank you for stopping by. I'm giving to the house of Shady. I know that's right. Thank you, Armand. I appreciate it. Have I seen the interview? Dr. Zan? No, I haven't. Okay. No, I have not. If you can shoot me an email about it, I will definitely check it out. I'll just go back in the chat and pull it up. Stick it up. But I will definitely check it out. Had a pajama jam for the ladies on Zoom. Yeah, I mean, and that's what you should do. You should take this time to use social media that, a lot of times they like to call it as circular or second of, like different, like the world, and use it to your benefit. I just don't understand, like, what's the, use it. Have prayer circles and prayer meeting virtually, at least until they understand the virus and know how it exactly can be contracted from human to human. I've read articles going and basically saying that even when you flush the toilet, that you make sure you close it, because the pathogens could fly everywhere and get on everything when you flush and the toilet seat is, not completely closed. To take off your shoes when you enter in the house, or to walk around with the shoe covers, because it could be on your shoes. And I mean, at some point you don't want to go overboard, but you also want to be protective and make sure you're safe, your family's safe, and everything else. Hey, welcome, everybody coming into the room. Welcome. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way in. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Hey, Patty Duke, how you doing? Welcome. Right, exactly. Now they're talking about your pets can have it. And, so every day we're learning something new about this disease and things. And we're coming upon almost an hour of being here talking to you guys. So at this point, this is the area in which if you have questions or anything you would like to add or ask about, this is where you are free to do so. And I am here for it. And if you also want to ask your question via StreamYard or what have you, please do so. And it's okay. I'm not going to bite or, get on you as long as you're respectful and stuff like that. I'm a good guy. So, yeah. But that news about Kim Jong-un, that's big, because that death could flip that region definitely to a more democratic nation. So that was very interesting. And being that he had all those precautions about keeping him from getting ill, I wonder how that happened. Very curious. Yeah, that pets can get the virus. Yeah, I read that as well. Yeah, Giuliani's hiding because Giuliani can't keep his mouth shut. Giuliani, as my mother would say, loose lips sink ships. Yeah, his mouth runs like water. And when Giuliani gets to going, especially probably if he's had some juice before going on an interview, he gets very proudful and boastful and tells on himself and on the people involved. So I think they definitely had to, especially now, because we are entering into the election season, even though, this pandemic is happening, we are still in election mode. So please don't get it, don't get side swiped with all that is going on. This is still a presidency is up for grabs. Power is up for grabs as far as in the Senate. Many people in the Senate are actually having their seats in question. Mitch McConnell is one of them. He actually goes up for re-election this year, as well as Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham has a Democratic contender who is actually raising. Now, Lindsey Graham is raising, a lot of money, but his contender is raising money as well. So those people in South Carolina, please look into. I'll probably do a run-up of the Democratic candidate. Can't think of his name right now. It escapes me, but he is an African-American man. He's running for the South Carolina Senate seat of Lindsey Graham's. So that'll be an interesting thing to see, especially with all this going on. All Republicans need to reflect. I agree. And I'm, as some people say, oh, on the plantation. I'm not a plantationer. I don't even like when people say that. Speaking of plantation, the Georgia state's lawmaker who he's a Democrat, but he was pushing for President Trump's re-election, has now stepped down, but he won't renounce his Democratic status. He will stay a Democrat. And I get it. There is a lot of fanfare. There's a lot of publicity. There's a lot of money that comes when you are a person of color talking about Republicans or, and embracing a lot of their doctrine, because, of course, they want to cross over and get that appeal, because the Democratic stronghold amongst people of color is very strong. But sometimes you get to see that the person is really pushing their own pocket rather than pushing for the real interest of the people. His area or his district is DeKalb County, and for you to be pushing Donald Trump's kind of making money. Jamie Harrison, thank you so much. Jamie Harrison is running for Lindsey Graham's Senate seat. For those of you in South Carolina, his name is Jamie Harrison. But the lawmaker in Georgia, who is in charge of the DeKalb County district, who's pushing Trump, talking about he's done so much for HCB, historically black colleges. I can't even never get that acronym. I always mess it up when I'm trying to say it fast. But he's pushing for all the stuff he's done for historically black colleges, which I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't see it. And prison reform, I don't see that either. I mean, just because you released one lady who, of course, anybody, and let's just be very clear, when we start talking about life and people imprisoned, most people, if they happen to get a reprieve from the president, would thank him and, would look upon him with such graciousness and, oh, how could he be a racist? You could still be a racist or a bigot and release certain people if your motive is to get reelected. Because your goal is for people to vote for you. So you will sometimes bite the bullet and just say, okay, whatever, and let it go. Mitch McConnell is highly corrupt. So please don't get it twisted. Just as corrupt as Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell is. His wife is the Secretary of Transportation. And lo and behold, when all of those senators who were in question about voting for impeachment, when they did not vote for impeachment and actually stood their ground as far as politically and voted along the Republican ticket, their states miraculously got grants in transportation and infrastructure for transportation, meaning highway building and other transportational things that funds and money that they needed. All these Republicans miraculously got these extra money in their states. So yeah, everybody's an opportunist at this moment. And these Republicans are milking this government for every bit that they can get while they have this power. Yes, HBCUs, I know. Trump released. Yeah, but that's all it was. It was all about a photo op, because again, it's attracting votes. If I'm, of course I'm going to be looked upon as, oh, this president, he's not racist. How could he be racist? He released this black woman. I mean, because Kim Kardashian pushed it, and him being a celebrity himself, he knows what that brings and the positive push that would bring. Thank you, Just, and welcome, of course, as always. It's always great to see you. But yeah. So anyway, you guys, I am at 1 hour and 2 minutes. I just want to say thank you all for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please, you can leave them in the comment section below. I will be sure to read them and comment back. And also, if you have any other questions, you can always email me. My email will be dropping down shortly. You can do that. Other than that, I'm here, and you'll see me around these YouTube streets. Thanks. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to talk about, unless anybody else has anything to talk about. I think I'm good. Have a good afternoon, Shay. And likewise, it's always love, Just. Even though, we have a open shared relationship, but it's okay. I could share you with Rebel. He's good people. So good afternoon, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Please be safe. Make sure that we all know we washing our hands. But make sure that if you don't see them washing their hands, you keep your distance, okay? You keep your distance, because they don't wash their hands. So with that, thank you all for coming. And by the way, please remember that the Gentleman's Panel this week will be held on King's Pain platform. So official King Pain. So please make sure that you are subscribed to him so you don't miss the notification when it goes out. I will, through the week be putting info out for the Gentleman's Panel, but yeah, it will be on his channel this week on Thursday. And also Tuesdays, as you know, is Politics and Wellness with Mr. Credential. And that will be at 8:05 on Tuesday. So please make sure that you come out for that and check us out. All right. And with that said, I'm out. Love you guys. Peace.